the beginning of my career, I dreaded sales. I started out in administration and I liked the name administrator. Maybe because I was not so young when we were having chief administrators in our government. But I just liked the idea of being an administrator. It sounded safe and it felt good. But there was a point where I had to make a switch in my career and I had to move on from what I was doing. And there were no openings. That was when I began to build a career in sales. And one of the things I want to help people see, especially young people, is how sales can impact your personal life like no other career path can. If you follow me closely, I'll be showing you how sales will be to your advantage like nothing else would, and how you can learn sales, build a career in sales, and live life on your own terms because you can sell. The beginning of my career in sales, it was rough as anything else would. You take baby steps, and when you take baby steps, I mean, you would rise, you would fall, you'll take steps, and then you'll crash again. So there are many mistakes I made, and one of the things I want to help people do is not make those mistakes as you begin to build your career in sales. But before I even begin to teach you about the pitfalls and how to avoid them, sales for me is more than a job. It's more than a career path. For me, sales is a life changer. I see sales as a ministry. I see sales as a faith walk. Sales has saved my life on several occasions, my financial life. Sales has helped me move from point A to point B at a time when I did not know what to do. I was completely oblivious as to how next to generate funds. And it was Zig Ziglar that said, people to say that money is not important. And he agrees, money is not important. It just happens to rank somewhere around oxygen. Even if money is not important, and you call money not important, it's fine. I wouldn't get into that argument because that's not the purpose of my video. The idea that we need money to do virtually everything makes it important that you figure out early in life and in your career how to make money, and how to make money independent of whether someone is giving you a job or not. Because many times, if you build your career outside of sales, it has to depend on getting a job, being hired, passing interviews, and all of those. But when you know how to sell, you really can call the shots. You really can tell that, okay, this is the amount of money I can make at the end of the week, at the end of the month, or even at the end of the day. Learning to sell is you deciding to get behind the steering wheel of your life so that you don't get stranded. I always say, I would rather sell than beg. I'm too proud. It's a gift from God. I would rather sell than beg. There have been times where I've been hamstrung, I've had my backs against the wall, and the only thing I could think of was, what else could I sell? What next could I sell? People have seen me move through different products. I'm sure sometimes people got confused. And what is Benedicta really selling? And it really doesn't matter to me what people think. I always say they don't know my story. They've not been where I've been. They're not going through what I'm going through. So why should I be bothered what they think? So sometimes I know people have seen me sell perfumes. People have seen me sell shoes. I think I've even sold clothes at some point. I've sold different things. I've been in network marketing for two different companies at different times in my sales career. I am still selling today. I've sold courses. I've sold consultation. Sales is a value conversation. It's really not a money conversation. Once you can show them that, then they think that the money in exchange for that product or service is worth it, because eventually you have solved the problem. Either it's solving a need, improving a lifestyle, or creating a solution. So every time I talk about sales, people think, do you want me to be so pushy? I don't want to come across as pushy. I don't want to come across as I'm collecting money from people. You don't want to collect money from people. I mean, this whole world is a commerce world. We live in a world of commerce. Everything you see was exchanged for money at some point. And every time you step out of your door, somebody said, I don't want to go out again. Every time I step out, 50,000 naira fiam. Every time you step out, somebody is collecting money from you. So you had better already position yourself as somebody that is going to be collecting money as well. And I'm talking about your job. It's fine to have a job. It's good to have a job. I have a job. I work at a 9 to 5 and it's perfect. It's excellent. But you also need to either have your job getting you involved in sales or find an opportunity to sell. Because if you're not venturing in a sales opportunity at this time in your career, what you're doing is you're not preparing yourself for a difficulty that may show up later on in life. I've had people who lost their jobs and then the next thing they were on the streets begging, looking for a way out, and not able to survive. Because a valuable skill like sales, they let go. Many times you hear people say, oh, I don't want to learn sales. I don't need sales. I have a thriving career. The truth is, even as someone who's not building a career in sales, you need to learn the skills of selling, because you need to also sell your boss on your idea, on a change you want to implement. Let's say you're building a career in human resources. Many times HRs lack selling skills, and that's why every time they bring an idea to their CEO, he shoots it down and says, you know what, trash this, you know what, we don't have money for this. Until you're able to show them the value and why the money that will be spent will be nothing compared to the value it will bring to the organization, to the staff members, and the eventual bottom line. Nobody's going to get on your side. The skills of selling are not a set of skills you learn because you want to hustle. You have to learn how to sell so that you can get people to buy into your idea, to buy into your thoughts, to buy into your beliefs. You must learn to sell.